So, as you can see, I am all ready for Elimination Chamber. Tonight, I've got the wrestling T-shirt. Shout out to Deadlock. I've also got the CM Punk hat because, of course, the show is in Chicago. But there's a little bit of time on my hands, and I decided, yeah, I'm gonna go see a couple movies. Um, The second one was a very interesting one that, of course, will be uploaded onto the channel in a little bit. But first, I wanted to talk about everyone's favorite horror movie that came out recently that is doing even better numbers than Scream 7. And I say that with no sarcasm in the world. And that is Psycho Killer. Of course, I'm Daniel Strunk. Welcome back to QuickTime Reactions. Let's dive into Psycho Killer, shall we? This movie stars Georgina Campbell, James. I forget the other parts of his name. I know that his first name is James. I know that much. Malcolm McDowell, as well as a whole host of others. And it tells the story about a highway patrol officer named Jane who witnesses her husband get killed during a stop, and come to find out that there's a whole host of murders done by a serial killer who's gone with by the tagline of the Interstate Killer. And Jane has basically made it her mission to try and find this person and end all of the killings once and for all. So will she be able to do it? We'll have to wait and see. So I only saw one trailer for this. And of course, I did a reaction to it. And I think I even said I believe it was a teaser, that I didn't really give much to the story other than it's this lady going after this serial killer. But they marketed it crazy. If I remember correctly, it was same person who wrote Seven, I believe. The movie was directed by Gavin Polone and was written by Andrew Kevin, and I forget his last name. Oh my gosh. But I at least got 2/3 of his name. Andrew Kevin something. Um, and I have to say, like, the response to this movie has been more interesting to watch than anything, because critics have railed this movie. I checked before hitting the record button. The film's at a 9% critic rating on Rotten Tomato. And the audience score is higher, but not by a lot. I think it's in the 30s. But it was, critic rating, I mean to say, was at 0%. So yeah, nobody liked this movie. Not a lot of people are liking this movie. And I can understand the reasons as to why. But I'm going to be on the opposite side of the coin. I actually had a decent time with this. Now, am I saying that this movie's a good movie? No, I'm not saying that. It's not a great movie. It's an okay movie. It's okay. That's like the best thing that I can say about this. It's okay. The kills that are in this movie are decent. They are decently done kills. They are done in places that you would expect. And then there's one that you are like, that's very interesting. And when I say places, I mean like locations. Like, think your typical serial killer like locations when it comes to movies, like maybe houses or maybe like on the street or something like that. Well, along those lines is what I'm talking about. And then there's of course one that I was not expecting to be in that place, in that environment. And if you go see the movie, you will understand what I'm talking about when I say that. The performances in this I thought were pretty good. Georgina Campbell, of course, you might recognize her from Barbarian. That's probably where she's probably most known for. I think the last time I saw her was probably a movie called The Watchers, um, which was directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter. Um, I thought she was pretty good in this movie. Um, the guy who I'm just going to refer to as James, the actor, who plays the killer in this movie, I thought he was a really good choice to be the killer. He has a very distinctive voice, and I think that makes the character stand out. Like the mask is okay, but it's the voice that I think will be iconic for this character. So I thought him being chosen as the actor, I thought was pretty good because his voice is really iconic. Um, I think the reason as to why so many people don't like this movie is because there are so many loose threads in the story. Like, you hear certain things in the movie where it's like, okay, that's a thread, that's a thread, that's a thread, that's a thread. And there's like a whole lot of these threads. I'm not going to say much because I do think it's worth you checking out. All movies I think are worth checking out in theaters if you have at least some interest in it. But this movie has a whole bunch of threads. Some of them get put together. Maybe not like really, really tightly, but they are put together loosely. And then some others are just left to dangle. So I think that may be a reason as to why so many people are like, time out, wait a second, I don't understand what's going on. There's like all this like stuff going around here, there, and everywhere. Like there's satanic cults. There is nuclear stuff that's going on in this movie as well. Um, there's government conspiracies that are talked about in this movie. There's of course the revenge element that's going on as well, and just a whole lots of puzzle pieces trying to come together. Some of them do, while others don't. And some people might say, that's a bad movie. But I see it more as an interesting movie because you can at least talk about interesting movies. Whereas with movies that, have a very definitive beginning, middle, and end to it, it's like, okay, there's no room for ambiguity. Whereas this, I think those threads being left out, I see as a positive because it's like maybe that's a jumping off point for like potentially a next movie. Now, do I think that this movie is going to get a sequel? No, I don't. Absolutely not. But I just find it very interesting that, so many loose threads, only some of them come together. I just find that very interesting. The music in this, it was composed by Sven Faulkner. I hope I said his last name correctly. I thought he did a good job with the score in this, creating nice bits of tension here and there throughout the movie. I thought that was well done. But yeah, I can understand the hate for this movie, but I also find it very interesting, the way that so many threads go unanswered, and it's just left as it is. But yeah, that is pretty much my review for Psycho Killer. There were good performances in the cast. I like the killer in this movie, but yeah, I think the story definitely kind of like hampers it a little bit. I find it interesting, but I can understand why others would deem it frustrating. But that's just my thoughts on the movie. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Be safe out there, and if you see, all sorts of like blood symbols on your wall, um, my suggestion to you is you need to call either the police, an exorcist, or both, because I don't think you would want to deal with any of that. If I'm being at all honest with at least myself anyway, I wouldn't want to deal with that. And I will catch you guys next time.